Good morning. Last Sunday, I talked about this idea of hearing the words of Jesus and putting them into practice and how that brings stability into our lives. It has a stabilizing effect. And Jesus is using that as his conclusion of the Sermon on the Mount. And when he's saying, hearing these words of mine and putting them into practice, he's said some very specific things. And so we're kind of trying to dial those back up into our awareness right now. One of the things that Jesus said is, where your treasure is, your heart also will be. And he talks about this idea that what we treasure is something that either has us or we have it. And I think this is a very big deal in America these days, that we have all kinds of treasures we treasure ourselves, we treasure others to the point of codependency, and obsession, we treasure stuff, and we treasure success, and we treasure people's opinions of us, and all those things that we treasure actually make us slaves of those things. That God knows that we're built to only be in service of him. And when we are, we're truly free. And when we're not, we're in the service of and in slavery to all of these other things. And so when Jesus says, hearing these words of mine and putting them into practice, what does it mean in terms of what we treasure? So I want to ask you to think and consider for a couple of minutes. What are the things in your life that you truly treasure? If you looked at my life, you might say, well, Bob, you really treasure guitars. And maybe you would say music out of that whole thing. And because I have a whole lot of guitars, and I kind of spend some of my excess think time thinking about guitars and things like that. What about you? What are those things in your life that you think about and you think over and over again? Maybe it's your house and improving your house, or maybe it's getting a house, or maybe it's getting that Mr. Right or that Miss Right, or maybe it's getting that education so you can get ahead, or whatever those things are that are constantly in your mind that you're going after and going after and going after. And I want to ask you, does that have you, or do you have it? Jesus said, where your treasure is, there your heart will also be. So your heart follows your treasure. And so we need to be careful what we treasure. And maybe that means and challenges that we need to reorder our lives in terms of what's truly important and what we treasure. That's our word for today. Let's think about that and take that to the Lord and filter our life through that. God bless you.